Hey, welcome back to Trek on the Tube. We are yet again talking about an episode of Star Trek, the original series. This time it's Season 1, Episode 13, The Conscience of the King in the release order. As usual, I'm pretending to be the audience of the 60s, discovering this episode for the first time ever, and also, as usual, after my thoughts and opinions, we'll look at how the original version compares to the remastered version with updated visual effects. So, The Conscience of the King, how was it? Well, it was a bit boring, to be honest. I mean, following the solid episodes this show has been delivering lately, this whole, a mystery, fell a bit flat. Think about it. We just got an epic double episode, an inspiring first contact story, and some well-needed commentary on the justice system, but here we don't get any of that depth. Actually, scratch that. There is some depth to this episode. We do get some backstory on Kirk and Riley, and I guess there is some surface level analysis into how they handle grief and anger. And of course, there's a bit of a twist with the reveal at the end. It wasn't Kodos the executioner doing the killing, it was his daughter, but the execution, for lack of a better term, of all these elements was to some extent anticlimactic. I don't really have any major complaints. It is quite a big coincidence two of the very few survivors are on the Enterprise at the same time, but for narrative purposes, I guess I'll let that detail slide. As I was saying, the real problem with this episode is after that initial setup, after that initial intrigue, who is Kodos the executioner? Why does Kirk remember him so well? Things just kind of drag on for an eternity until the final reveal. I know I was supposed to be interested by the Kirk romance and then ultimately heartbroken that she turned out to be the villain, the killer, but even that didn't work too well because I never really bought their relationship. The highlights for me were in actuality unrelated to the plot itself, like for example, Dr. McCoy and Spock talking about Kirk's behavior when they were in sickbay. It's not often these two characters are together without the captain around. The Doctor even lays down some information about the Vulcan species. They were conquered? That's interesting. Another nice moment was the build-up to the poisoning of Riley. The poisoning itself did feel a bit goofy, a bit staged maybe. The hand coming into frame, him taking forever to drink the milk, it all felt a tad unrealistic. But the build-up to it, I thought that was great. Poor Riley has been sent down to engineering and is feeling lonely, so he calls his colleagues in the rec room and they keep him company. Uhura sings a song. It's nice. It's comforting to think that in the future, people at work get along. There's also some fun Kirk moments, I gotta say. The way he gets Spock looking all puzzled at one point, and then on the other end of the spectrum, how he gets really harsh with him. If my memory needs refreshing, Mr. Spock, I'll ask for it. We haven't seen him get that snappy before, so it was new, it was interesting. So yeah, this episode did have quite a few worthwhile individual moments, and overall it wasn't bad. The story did work, the performances were fine, the sets, the props, that was all acceptable, even if the acting troupe and their decor seemed a little old-fashioned. I guess this is just one of those meh kind of episodes. I won't remember it when I finished watching the season, and I definitely won't go back and rewatch it. Alright, let's now move on to the comparison between the remastered version and the original version. I'm moving straight to this because there were no Easter eggs to go over, no callbacks. Editing Toddy here, I'm wrong. There's at least one Easter egg. There's the, Sori and Brandy. So, yeah, there's that. The ship shots and all of the shots from orbit have been, as usual, fully replaced by CGI. I personally think they look better than the original. Same goes for the windows. I mentioned this in my review of the Menagerie. A lot of the windows featured either static starfields or just plain colors, but I've noticed they've started replacing them with actual moving stars, and it adds just that nice touch of realism to every scene. A final thing I wanted to point out is the transitions. For some reason, they're ever so slightly off in the remastered version. Nothing that impacts the story, mind you, but as you can see, it is a bit different in both speed and placement. And that's it for the changes. The rest is really just brighter colors and higher resolution. The things that are unchanged simply look better. Okay, that's it. Thank you so much for watching. What did you think of The Conscience of the King? Is it something that you skip? Is it something that you love? What did you think of it possibly when it came out, if you saw it that very day when it was released? That's it. Like, subscribe, share with your friends. A big thanks to the channel patrons as usual, and live long and prosper.